everybody. This is the final film in our Rapiers and Ruffles season, and it's very exciting to get to this point after a good 6 months or so since we started. I am Adrian Smith. I am joined, as ever, by my co-host, the very wonderful Rod Barnett.
Actually, I'll be going by the name Sir Basil Rutherford.
Yeah.
Because I like being the bad guy.
Yeah, I was going to say. Although according to comments on Facebook this week, you're more of the peacemaker of the podcast.
Oh my! What comments have been made? What peace am I making?
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure.
I'm not either.
No. We always love getting some comments.
Yes.
We had a few good ones on Facebook, and I've kind of lost them now because I was going to read them out, so apologies. If you want to send us an email, it's a more surefire way to make sure we'll read you out on the podcast. I have had a couple of emails, actually, that I'm going to mention.
Okay.
So we'll do that. But anyway, and also we've sold some T-shirts, so woohoo!
Yay!
Again, we'll talk about that at the end. But anyway, yes, before we crack on, any news from you, Rod? You've always got something up your sleeve.
Well, there's the podcasting continues apace. Got the newest episode out, which is my buddy Chris Herzog and I covering the serial, the classic Republic serial, Nyoka and the Tigermen, or The Perils of Nyoka, or Holy Crap, Did All These People Take Speed? Just an absolutely fantastic serial from the golden ages, from 1942. Just phenomenal fun. It really does seem as if once the action starts, they really only pause long enough to like relace their shoes, and then they keep going. And fantastic stuff. It's always worth checking out a serial. At least the good serials, the really, really good ones, can win almost anyone over. I've got a couple of things coming down the pike for the show very soon. Trying to get everything in place for the October season. Trying to record a few shows, including one on Reptilicus. And one for House of Frankenstein, the classic Universal horror film. So those will be on tap very soon. And there's always a few other things bubbling under, and we'll see how they fall into place.
Very good. And any, since our last episode, any new commentaries announced or anything like that?
No, not any new ones since we last spoke. There's one that is in the can. Well, actually, there's one that's in the can from years ago that I keep waiting for someone to do something with. And then there's one that's in the can waiting for us to put the finishing touches on it. But that one is obviously months down the road because we've done a big portion of our job, but we don't have the matching file to see what the movie, to see the movie and play it against. So we'll have to hold off on talking about that one for probably a couple of months, I would assume.
And you and I still have one that we did about 6 weeks ago that hasn't been announced yet.
This is true. This is very true.
But possibly, I know the label is announcing 4 releases, I think on Friday. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed it might be one of those.
Surely it has to be.
Yeah, but I thought that last month and then it wasn't. So, so who knows? I mean, that was one that we had to wait about 2 years from initially agreeing to do it to actually getting it done. So the timescales on these things are always wonky. But anyway,
there's so many things out of our control. There's so many things that can delay or push forward a particular project. You never can tell.
It is a fun world, and one in which I would like to just work full time. I think being a disc producer would be, well, I mean, I feel like it would be great, but at the same time, they all seem pretty stressed. So
lots of stress. think about our self-imposed deadlines, and then think about them being actual deadlines.
I guess my other news is I went to Fright Fest last week, the biggest horror festival in the UK. Happens every year. I think it's been going now for 26 years, although that might include COVID. But they did do some online Fright Fest during COVID, I guess. Now, I haven't been every year, but I've gone several times, and it's always fun. I went just for the day. I never go for the full 4 days. I don't think I could handle that. One day is exhausting enough. But it was really fun. Went with my youngest son, Oscar, and we saw 5 movies sitting in the Odeon Leicester Square, which is the very famous cinema where they do all the big premieres and stuff in London.
Cool.
Very comfortable seats, I will say. And the sound system, it's amazing. And the films were good. It's interesting range because they're usually independent films. And one of them was basically a home movie. There's a family called the Addams family who live somewhere upstate New York, and they make movies effectively just in their garden and in the woods around their house. So that was fun. They write, star, direct, produce, do the special effects, the music, the whole thing is a proper family production. So obviously the production values are a little bit lower than some of the more mainstream studio type stuff, but it was really fun because that's the kind of film I would never even have heard of otherwise. So yeah, so Fright Fest is good for catching stuff like that. So but also my recommendation from all the films I saw is a film called Influencers. Some of you, there's a bit of a crossover, I would imagine, with listeners and horror fans. So some of you have probably got Shudder, and there's a film on there called Influencer, basically about a girl who kills influencers.
Okay.
And anyway, we saw the sequel.
I'm already a fan, so yes.
Yeah, exactly. We can all sympathise. The sequel, I've never seen the original, but we saw the sequel and it was really good. So that's my recommendation. But anyway, that's about all I've been up to. So why don't we just crack straight on with our final film? Let's not keep things waiting a moment longer. We've already talked about our titular character, I think at least twice so far in this season.
Sir Basil Rutherford, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's definitely, Daniel Vargas is a returning face.
Isn't he,
but
though?
Yes, yeah, he's great. There's a couple of people in this film, actually, that we've talked about before. But anyway, we are, of course, talking about Zorro a la corte de, I can't say it, d'Angleterre, or otherwise known as Zorro in the Court of England. Cue the not unexpected sounding music from Angelo Francesco Lavagnino. Now, Rod, you chose this film.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, well, you chose
all
of the films.
That's yes, I put them all on a list. This is
you chose them all apart from Xenobel, which was the one I slipped in last time.
Yes,
and
yes.
We're still in 1969, so we're in the tail end of this epic saga of Rapiers and Ruffles. And we've fluctuated a lot with these films in terms of the time period that we're in.
Oh, I know.
This film seems to be in the 1860s or so, I think.
That's as good a guess as I think we can probably have, yeah.
And Zorro, he is a kind of magical, almost Doctor Who type figure who can pop up seemingly all over the world wherever there is injustice.
I'm a little impressed with the fact that honestly, I was unaware until recently. I thought that there was just the occasional weird aberration with Zorro turning up in, say, a Samson or a Machiste film where, it's like, okay, somebody went a little crazy and, they got chocolate in their peanut butter or whatever the heck is going on here. But it turns out that Zorro can just appear anywhere there might be any slight Spanish-speaking hint of a population, any place, anywhere, ever. And so that's nice.
Just give us a quick, give us like the sort of notes on Zorro for those of us who are not too familiar with the character. Where is the original Zorro supposed to be from? Is it Mexico?
Oh well, Mexico / California at a time in a time period in the 1800s where California ended and Mexico began was really kind of depending on who you were talking to. So mid 1800s. The novel where the character was created is a good deal more specific, but the movies have a tendency to fluctuate between pre-Civil War and post-Civil War. So 1850s, 1860s, 1870s, 1880s, all over the place, just depending on whoever's deciding to tell the story. And he's a masked do-gooder, someone who is attempting to set things to right, to fight for the oppressed. Essentially, think of Zorro as a North American Robin Hood. Probably the best way to go.
Yeah, and the original Zorro, his mask, does it cover the top half of his face or the bottom half of his face?
As I remember from both the novel and most films, the top half of his face, yes.
Okay, so they've gone for a bit of a switcheroo in this one.
For an obvious reason, I would say.
Yeah.
Not often do we have such a flamboyantly mustachioed Zorro.
It would be a giveaway. It's just this guy turns up with his big moustache, but he's wearing a little mask over his eyes.
It's like, I think I know who that is. Yeah.
Who is this masked stranger?
With the giant mustache. I think I know who that might be.
So we first encountered Zorro, or a Zorro alike, back in The Invincible Masked Rider.
Yeah.
Which also, incidentally, featured Daniel Vargas as the bad guy.
Yes.
And we then encountered Zorro again in... So The Invincible Masked Rider and I think Zorro and the Musketeers were both Spain?
Well, the border between Spain and France, so yeah.
Yeah. But now here we are in somewhere in the Bahamas, the island of Hamilton.
Yes, the fictional island of Hamilton. The least Caribbean-looking place you can imagine.
Where the population appear to be white Spanish people, but it's a British colony.
Right.
Which was slightly confusing to me, that everyone was Spanish apart from the people in charge. But anyway, we'll get to that, I suppose.
Well, I mean, don't get me started. I mean, the guy playing Zorro's Greek.
Yeah. They looked around and just, who's got the best moustache? Oh, let's try that guy.
You think that was the casting question?
Yeah.
Look at that glorious bit of facial hair.
I'm sure Zorro had a moustache, right? I vaguely remember that in the book. Yeah, why not? Okay. So the title of the film is misleading. Now, we've already had, and one of our listeners, Lee, emailed me about this. A few years earlier, there was an unconnected film called Zorro in the Court of Spain. Have you seen that one?
It's possible, but I don't remember.
And as far as I can tell, there's absolutely no connection to the story, at least, or it's a different director. And
well, I mean, Zorro moving from time to time and place to place. Anyone can play the game,
But I'm assuming in that one, he does actually turn up in Spain. Whereas in this film, Zorro is thousands of miles away from England, although they make it appear as if you can just hop on a ship and be there within a couple of days.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, we're getting ahead of ourselves. I really enjoyed this movie.
I did too. This is a return to form for the films that we've been covering. This feels very much of a piece with the films from the early 60s that we covered as we started this.
Compared to the last episode, where the last episode sort of jumped forwards in terms of nudity, especially. But this film feels like it could have been made in 1963.
Oh, easily. I will say, I mean, if I'm going to level a critique against this film, it is going to be against the direction. I think it's a bit pedestrian, and I think that on more than 4 or 5 occasions, the action sequences could have been staged way better. But the camera placement is not where it needs to be for a lot of the action scenes. It gets to be a little frustrating to see what they're going for and kind of have to give it to them rather than have the movie present it, essentially.
True.
But the story is a lot of fun. The characters are a lot of fun.
And there's a lot of swashbuckling.
Yes, there is. And the shock,
you haven't got to wait long.
Yeah. And the shock to me is that once the sword play begins, barring actually the final bit of sword play, it's actually pretty darn exciting. And some of that turns out to be because one of the actors involved in the sword play was actually a fencing master and a stuntman as well as an actor. So that worked out pretty well. Yeah.
Which one was that? Was his name Francisco? Was it Cortez?
Yeah. It's the guy who's playing Captain Wells.
Oh, Wells, right, Captain Wells. Yes, Franco, brilliant name, Franco Fantasia.
Yeah, and he was a.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He actually really knew what he was doing, which is, I think, probably why those sequences have a tendency to the sequences with him getting a Z carved on his face more than once. Actually play out very effectively. They're good. They're good action sequences involving swordplay. It's good stuff.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, this guy's got so many credits.
Oh, zillions, man.
Oh, wow, including some films we've covered before, like Criminal, and both Criminal films actually. Yeah, loads of stuff. He's in at least one of the Gamma 1 films.
Yeah, he's in Snow Devils, I think.
Yeah, loads of good stuff. Wow, yeah. Oh, yeah, and he was an Executioner of Venice and Zorro and the Three Musketeers. Wow. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, just getting carried away there.
Well, I mean, he was, I believe, he's been in several of the movies that we've covered this season, which is a bit of a shock.
Yeah. Well, should we talk about a few other cast members while we're at it then? So our hero, we've already mentioned him, Zorro, is played by Spiros Fokas, which I think is a first for us on the podcast, that the lead of an Italian film is Greek. But it was known quite well in Italy because of his work with Visconti and Vincenzo Minnelli and people like that. And then later on, he was a Hollywood star and turned up in things like Rambo 3.
Oh, I know, and Jewel of the Nile and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's kind of amazing to realize, oh man, I've seen this guy in a number of films. I mean, he was in the 70s, he was in Shaft in Africa, the last of the Shaft films. Well, at least in the 70s Shaft films.
Oh, but what a score that film has got.
I love that film. It's not my favorite of the Shaft, the original Shaft films, but it's still great. Flavia the Heretic. He was in one of my favorite Italian bits of trash, Holocaust 2000. The Kirk Douglas film. I absolutely love that. But then again, like I say, Rambo 3, Jewel of the Nile. You see his long list of credits and you realize, oh, I've seen this guy in a dozen places and just didn't realize that he was the same guy. As far as I can tell, once he grew the mustache, that stayed. But costuming and everything else could change.
He looks very dapper as an older man as well.
Yes.
I've been looking at some photos of him. Yeah, so I think he's really well cast. I mean, there's absolutely never any doubt. There's no mystery like there was in the other film that we talked about.
Well, the previous two Zorro films.
Yeah. But this one is very clear straight away. It's very funny. It reminded me of every time Clark Kent walks in and goes, "Oh, did I miss Superman again?" Suarez walks in. He's like, "Oh, are you telling me Zorro was here?" Oh man,
I had to go to the privy.
Yeah.
I was at the privy.
Why am I always out of the room when Zorro is here?
It's crazy. It's almost. You might start to doubt things, right? You might have questions.
This is very good. So the island is being ruled over by the evil Sir Basil Ruthford, representing the Queen, played by our man Daniel Vargas,
who we've seen in so many things at this point. this balding bear of a man who we've seen in, well, he was in
Yeah.
Invincible Mouse Rider. If you have any doubts about whether you've seen him, if you've seen Kaltiki, the Immortal Monster, you've seen him. Oh my goodness, the number of movies this guy was in is astonishing. He was in Eyeball. We talked about it before. He was in Eyeball. Yeah. He was in so many different movies, and he is such a great villain. I mean, he's such a nasty scumbag. Yeah. And strangely enough, he was in the same year another Zorro film playing a different villain. Zorro, what's the name of this thing?
Was it the same? Because the director made another Zorro film in the same year. It's that one, isn't it?
Yes.
Zorro Marchese di Navarra.
That's it. That's the other one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's just Zorro, the Marquis of Navarra.
I was wondering if it had gotten a different kind of English title, but apparently not. I don't know that it ever walked its way over here or not.
And which is a sort of Napoleonic Zorro, with a different actor, but the same director as our film here, Franco Montemurro.
And the same guy playing a bad guy, just playing a different bad guy. So yeah. But yeah, Daniel Vargas, one of those go-to balding bears who can play your villain without too much trouble, whether it's a spaghetti western or even if it's playing in the William Wilson segment of Spirits of the Dead, for goodness sake. He's your go-to guy.
So there's another bad guy in this movie, Lord Percy Moore.
Yes.
And he is played by Franco Russell.
Yeah.
Who we have also seen many times. He has got a very familiar face if you've watched any Italian movies at all.
Kind of a terrifying face in a lot of ways.
He does a very good job at sleazy and untrustworthy. I think. But yeah, we've seen him in loads of movies. And I watched him recently in AAA Masseuse Good Looking Offers Her Services, which is a hilarious name for a film. But he turns up in loads of them. He was a bit of a talisman maybe for Antonio Margheriti. He did a few Margheriti films.
Yeah.
Including one of your favorites, Mr. Super Invisible.
Yeah, you're throwing around the word favorite. And I'm not sure you understand what that word means. But but he was he was in
Wild
Sabata.
Planet.
He was in Sabata. He was in Tarzana the Wild Girl.
We've seen him in loads of stuff.
Oh, he he had a pretty interesting role in The Mercenary, the Sergio Corbucci spaghetti western. But
yeah, and he's in From the Orient with Fury, which is a film that I have a lot of affection for and have written about at great length. He was the priest in Seven Deaths in a Cat's Eye. Speaking of Marguerite. Oh yeah.
See, I've got to balance out your mention of Mr. Super Invisible with a good Marguerite film. So
yeah, he did quite a few for him. And we will get into the plot in a minute, but other couple of people worth mentioning is we have a very blonde Queen Victoria in this film. They seem to throw any attempt at historical accuracy completely out the window in this film.
Well, not only that. I mean, the actress playing Queen Victoria is mind-bendingly attractive, and
yes,
talk about historical verisimilitude. Yeah,
be careful here, Rod, because you could still be thrown in the tower. Just watch what you're saying.
Let's just say the actress and the historical characters. Physical selves do not mesh very well.
And I don't know anything about this actress. It's very hard to find any information.
Oh, I know. She had a very short career.
Yeah.
It's weird.
She started out in Hollywood. She actually turns up in Singing in the Rain briefly in a dance sequence. But
her name
made
is
more of an
Barbara Carroll.
Yeah. Sorry, I forgot to say her name. She made more of a name for herself in Italy, like so many people did in the early 60s. In a few peplums, including The Last Days of Pompeii. But yeah, very short career, basically. And all she does is sit down in this film. And I like the fact that they seem to make out that the Queen lives in the Houses of Parliament.
Well, I have a question for you. involving this film and the scenes with the Queen character. Don't you think that, for the most part, those scenes are unnecessary?
It's kind of, I guess they need them to kind of move the plot along,
But not
I
really.
suppose,
I mean,
and to justify the title, I guess.
now see that's the thing. If they're going to wedge Court of England into this thing, I guess they have to have those scenes. But
although he's never there. He never leaves the island.
Yeah,
someone else goes on his behalf.
He lives constantly in Hamilton, which of course sounds a whole lot like he lived constantly in the outskirts suburb of an Ohio township. It's very strange.
Yeah, but anyway, anyone else that you wanted to mention?
Carol
from the
Wells.
cast?
Carol Wells, who plays Patricia, and she is she's the apple of Zorro's eye after a certain point. Yeah.
Her real name is Anna Maria Guglielmotti.
No.
Pronounced very badly.
No. That's a weird thing that I encountered here. Now, one reason to bring her up is that Carol Wells, the actress we're talking about here, is an American actress, an opera singer and producer, and she even wrote some children's books. She was born in Louisiana and became an actor. There is this other thing listed on IMDb. I know that I'm going to show. I want you to sit down. Are you sitting down?
Yeah.
IMDb is wrong. So,
I'm just looking at her Wikipedia page. It's because it's spelled slightly differently.
Yeah.
Because it's Carol with an E, and I think in the credits it's Carol without an E. Maybe that's where the.
And when you see pictures of her, you're like, well, that's definitely her. I mean, this is definitely Patricia. I mean, I'm sorry, Carol Wells. And
that's funny.
Yeah, it's really kind of odd. But she had a pretty impressive little career. Not really long. Once she got married, she decided enough's enough and walked away. She did a few movies in Europe. She's mostly known for. I would say if you knew of her at all, it's probably from her television work. She was in Funny Lady in '75 and The House of Seven Corpses in '73, which is where you might know her if you're a freak like us, of course, and fascinated by the genre stuff. But she was in an episode of Perry Mason, a TV series that only lasted one season called Pistols and Petticoats, which I now have made it. I've made a pact that I will see episodes of this one day.
That sounds like the name of our next season.
I know, Pistols and Petticoats. Sign me up, man. But her career started out essentially here in the States, and then she did some European work.
Fair enough. That makes more sense.
Yeah, it's weird to be able to draw a straight line for an actor that we've seen in one of these movies all the way back to Leave It to Beaver. So, kind of very odd.
And she's very good in this film. She has a good role.
Yep.
And great screen presence. Absolutely.
One more actress we should probably talk about, and that is the actress who plays Sir Basil Rutherford's paramour, I guess you would say, who
yes, is that who Rosanna?
Yeah, absolutely gorgeous woman named her stage name is Dada Galeotti. Real name was Aldina Galeotti. So why not go with Dada, right?
Yeah.
Italian actress, pretty long career. Although she did at a certain point walk away from it as well. But she was in a number of films. She was in Flashman, strangely enough, from 1967. Yeah. Quite a few other movies that I wonder, have we seen? I mean, Flashman is one that we can lay claim to having viewed for sure. But The Girl in Room 2A in '74.
Well, she's in Zenabel.
She's in. Oh, that's it. That's what it was. Is we've already seen her, but of course it was a much smaller role than what she has here. Yeah. She was in Cry of a Prostitute, The Sinful Nuns of Saint Valentine,
and of course, way back in our first season, she's in The Beast in Space.
There's the thing, because her career. I mean, she's in things like Knife of Ice, and his name was Holy Ghost, and The Road to Selena in the early 70s. And then by the end of the 70s, you got to think she's looking for the door because, man, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's in The Beast in Space. But, hey, she was also in Violent Milan. Come on, that's a good movie.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and I like her character in this.
She's great. Her character really has a lot to chew on. I like her a lot. She's definitely the classic scorned woman that proves the do not mess with a scorned woman rule. Don't do that stupid thing that you're about to do. So
especially when you've got just a curtain separating the room that you're telling somebody your secret plans to and the place where you keep your secret woman, and then be surprised that she overhears your secret plans.
yeah, and if you're going to allow this bit of stupidity to reach the ears of this woman, keep her away from the firearms.
But yes, let's briefly, and it's going to be brief, talk about the director, Franco Montemurro.
Very brief.
I have been unable to find out anything about this guy beyond what's written on the IMDb. His name is not. It doesn't even have a Wikipedia page.
I found his Wikipedia page.
You did? I couldn't find one. Oh, okay.
The trick is it's only in a couple of different languages that are not English. That's for sure.
Yeah. Oh, I tried that, but even then I didn't get one. Oh, well, you might have more information then.
Not much.
I do know that he was an assistant director on some early neo-realist films. He worked on Umberto D, which is pretty cool.
Well, apparently he got his start as an assistant editor, and then worked his way starting in the early 50s into being an assistant director for a long period of time. Most of his career, most of his credits are definitely in the assistant director category, and then he directed 5 films of his own. Two of them are Zorro films, so well over 20% of this time as a director involved Zorro.
And I'm really intrigued by a couple of his other films that I was previously unaware of. But as I say this a lot on the podcast, now I want to see them. He made a film in 1966 called The Battle of the Mods, which I think is set in Liverpool. So it's about the British mods, which just sounds amazing. So I really want to see that, because that came out right at the height of all of that stuff with the mods and the rockers and the Who and all of that. So that just sounds great. And then in 1969, he made 3 films back to back, this film being one of them, and his others are a film. But then he made in the middle of that a film that sounds a bit like it might be a sort of giallo called Un Corpo Caldo per l'Inferno, or A Warm Body in Hell. And I've never heard of this, but I read the plot description and it sounds really good. Have you heard of that before?
I had not heard of it before, but just like you, I immediately put it on my list for. I've got this is one that I've got to lay my hands on. It's about a jewel store robbery going bad. Basically, a gang of people and the horrible machinations of everyone involved trying to actually make some money out of this heist. So it looks like it could be a lot of fun. It's got Jean Valjean, so I'm already on board. You'll notice that one of the people responsible for the screenplay is Luigi Capuano. So that at least makes me think that it might have something on the ball. Yeah,
because we've watched several of his films in this season.
Yeah.
And interestingly, like Zenobel, this film also had a re-release in France a few years later with hardcore footage shoved into the middle of it.
Oh, okay.
Apparently. But yeah, I'd never heard of this one before, but it does sound pretty intriguing. But yeah, so what does the Wikipedia page say about him? Because like I said, I didn't find it.
Oh, what I've related is everything that's there. I mean, there's almost no real depth of information about this guy at all.
Yeah, it's a shame. It'd be interesting to know more.
Well, I think one of the things working... Yeah, well, that's the thing. As far as this director's concerned, I think, unfortunately, fate may be working against anyone trying to research him any further, because he passed away in 1992. So there's not a big chance that anybody ever tried to talk with him at length about his career or any of the films he was involved with. So it may be something lost to time, unfortunately.
I mean, I've struggled to find much written anywhere about this movie. I found one blog that had written about Zorro in the Court of England. There are two very weak user reviews on the IMDb and a couple of reviews on Letterboxd. I couldn't find any information. This film is not even listed on the BFI database, which is pretty unusual.
Wow.
Because more or less everything ever released. I even just put in Zorro and went through page after page after page. Nothing. So it didn't appear to have a UK release. I couldn't find any evidence of an American release, and I searched all the databases for that. I tried La Stampa, the Italian newspaper, and I found some listings. So the film was out in Italian cinemas in 1969. So there is evidence that it did get released, but I couldn't find any reviews. So not even an Italian review. Nothing contemporary at all to suggest that this film was seen anywhere in the world. It doesn't appear to have had any kind of English language release, which is a shame.
It really is a shame because, like I say, it's not my favorite of the 10 that we've covered, but it's certainly not terrible, and it seems like there is enough here. I do wonder if if what you're running across is true. I'm beginning to wonder if there was an English dub of this, because every version of the film that I found online does not have. I mean, the only way for an English speaker to see it at all is with subtitles.
Helpfully, in the very good print on YouTube, with very good subtitles.
Yeah, the subtitles are quite solid. Yeah. So I do wonder if that was some kind of commercial release of it, but I'm not sure.
No. Yeah, it's a shame. So yeah, the film. I mean, maybe because it was a bit late for a Zorro movie, although clearly somebody thought it was worth it because they made two back to back.
Well, not only that, I mean, there were still Zorro movies being made in the 1970s, for goodness sake.
That's true, yeah. But for whatever reason, this one kind of fell through the cracks a little bit, it seems, at the time, at least internationally. But maybe it wasn't ever aimed at an international audience. But then why would you call it Zorro in the Court of England if you weren't planning to try and release it in England or something?
I don't know. It seems tailor-made to appeal to a certain subset of action movie fans in that period of time, but never can tell.
So so I've struggled to find. It doesn't even have a plot summary on the Wikipedia page for this film, and the plot summary on the IMDb is pretty brief.
Oh, I've got a pretty decent one here.
Have you got one? Oh, go ahead.
This one isn't too bad. It skips some things that we might want to talk to on our own here, but let's see what you think of this.
Oh, good. Okay, where did you find it?
One Language or Another's Wikipedia page.
I see. Which. Oh, good. Okay.
So it says Sir Basil Rutherford, the governor of the Bermuda Isle of Hamilton, oppresses the inhabitants, abuses their property, and stifles the slightest attempts at rebellion with the gallows. See, already you want to see this movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Only Zorro, who leads an unrecognized bourgeois existence as a quiet landowner, fights against the power politician's reign of terror. Or fights the power politician's reign of terror, pardon me. Suddenly I was fighting the power, man.
Yeah. Sorry. Should we pick up on that? So we've got this action sequence quite close to the beginning where there is a man is about to be hanged because Basil Rutherford likes to just hang everybody who he doesn't put down the mines. So Zorro rescues him by disguising himself as the executioner.
Right.
And we get a nice sequence where this is an execution by hanging, I should say, rather than the axe, unlike our previous executioner film. But yeah, Zorro leaps into action and saves the guy who he then helps to escape from the island, and he's the one who goes back to England to tell the Queen about what's going on.
Correct. Now, let's see. Well, it says, okay, so after yet another man is hanged, Zorro travels to England. See, this is wrong. It says Zorro travels to England. He does not. Zorro travels to England and reveals Rutherford's activities to Queen Victoria. But you were correct. Wow. So this is wrong in that respect.
I've just been looking. You're reading this from the German
It's the German
Wikipedia page.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the German is wrong.
Yeah.
Not the first time Germans have been wrong. Anyway, Lord Percy Moore.
I'm sorry, any of our German listeners. Please don't leave negative reviews.
Please don't think less of me. Is it possible?
I mean, it's a bit rich coming from an American.
Please! I know what we've foisted on the entire planet with the orange mango or the orange menace, the mango menace, the toddler in diapers. Yes, I know. I apologize.
Okay. Let's get back to our film about about another corrupt ruler.
Yes, exactly. Well, Lord Percy Moore offers to accompany. Well, he doesn't offer to accompany the Queen.
Yeah, this plot summary is all over the place.
Sends looks for a volunteer to go to Hamilton to find out if the accusations being made by the man who traveled to her court to complain about what's going on in I want to say in Hamilton, sorry, but on Hamilton, if these are true, and to recommend what should be done. So Lord Percy Moore. We find out really quickly is a bit of a scumbag. He has squandered all of the money of his two.
He's got a niece and nephew.
Niece and nephew. They're the ones that are supposed to actually inherit the money when they come of age, but he has managed to spend all of it because he is a profligate gambling scumbag. Yeah. And the his idea is to take the daughter with him, find a way to marry her off to possibly Sir Basil Rutherford, and therefore save his financial bacon. He
knows that Rutherford is exploiting the island to build up a personal fortune.
Right.
Something to do with mining or something.
Yeah. There's a mine on Hamilton, which is.
Although I'm not sure what they're mining. Do we ever find out what it is they're digging up?
Possibly coconuts. I don't really know.
Yeah, I don't know. So. Because he's an old friend of Basil Rutherford's, so he knows that this guy's a scumbag as well, and they're going to get on really well. I think they haven't seen each other for something like 10 years, but he knows that if he goes to the island, he can extort money from Sir Basil, doesn't he, by pretending that back to the Queen that everything is fine.
But after Lord Percy Moore's arrival, he promises Rutherford's. He promises Lord Rutherford or Sir Rutherford Patricia's hand in return for, money.
Money.
Since the situation on Hamilton hasn't changed, Zorro, who has fallen in love with Patricia, that's a bit of a leap because the Zorro character definitely plays up to her and is clearly interested. But he as all good Zorro films do, we have the alter ego in this is not played as a fop. Pedro Suarez is not he does not appear foppish, but he definitely is someone who is not interested in being a man of action or violence.
Yeah, but he does ask her to marry him as well.
Yes, he does. He makes a play for her just as himself to see what she will do.
Yeah, but of course she can't because she's in love with Zorro. Oh, what a terrible position to be in.
What a tangled web we weave when first we do cover our mustache. So,
and what I really like all the stuff with Zorro, and he's got his servant who's helping him.
Yeah.
Whose name is
Pedrito.
Yeah. And I like the relationship that they have together. It's there's quite a lot of comedy in this film, but it doesn't ever tip over and kind of ruin it.
Oh no, it doesn't. It doesn't really become silly. Yeah, it doesn't become silly, and it doesn't make you cringe. No. There's just enough. No. There's just enough lighthearted amusement between the two of them that it keeps things kind of interesting.
Yeah, because the servant is in love with Patricia's lady in waiting. Which is that Louisa, I think?
Louisa, yeah.
And so he kind of uses Louisa to help him by courting her to help create diversions so that Zorro can break into the castle and that kind of thing. It's all really funny. I like all that.
It's well done. It's fun. like I say, the only place I feel the film kind of lets things down a little bit is that starting with that opening action scene, it could have been better directed, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Too much is done in wide shots to the point where you can actually feel the editor screaming that there wasn't enough coverage for him to make it exciting. Yeah. But once things heat up and we get into the fencing stuff, especially in those enclosed places like the tavern and places of that nature, that's some exciting stuff. There's some good sword fighting going on in this film, and I'm here for it all day long.
Yeah, and I like how the people are all, obviously they're all in with Zorro and helping him. And there's a great sequence where he's running away from the bad guys, from the soldiers, and he kind of dives. He sends his horse off, and his horse creates a distraction, and so he dives down this hill, kind of rolls down this hill, and straight into a big pile of straw. And then the locals are just, which I guess they're the slaves of the soldier. They're piling the straw on top, and then a guy comes along in his cart, and Zorro jumps in. It's all seamlessly done, like they've done this before. Like they're all helping Zorro to escape every time, and it's very well done. It's very funny.
Yep, it's thoroughly enjoyable. It gets points for doing the Zorro stuff well.
Yeah. Now I don't think we should read too much more. I don't know.
Oh, this one's easy. This one's easy to see.
Because I don't want to give. I don't want to give anything away, because people should just go out and watch this straight away, because it's right there and it's really good. But also, this plot summary, the ending is all wrong.
Oh, I know.
I think. Well,
some of it is wrong.
Don't happen. So there's stuff in this plot summary that doesn't happen. Makes you wonder whether this German person who wrote this had actually seen it, or whether they've taken it from a plot summary in a magazine or something.
Not sure.
Who knows? But anyway, yeah, well done for finding stuff on. I always forget about the foreign language Wikipedia pages, so that's a good tip.
Oh man, there's nothing more frantic than me realizing that I can't find any information. I'm looking. I use those Wikipedia pages in foreign tongues to actually be able to find references down at the bottom of the page to where they're gleaning their information, because I have found great interviews that way.
Yeah, no, that's true. I do sometimes, but today when I was looking for this, I completely forgot. But anyway, enough of my failings as a researcher. So yeah, I really enjoyed this. It doesn't ever it kind of doesn't ever slow down. It's good when you'll think, oh, there's a potential to get a little bit bored. Oh, they'll just put on a ball and have everyone dancing the waltz and having conversations and intrigue and falling in love with each other. And then suddenly, don't worry, here's Zorro again to carve another X on Captain Wells' face.
There's
never any.
He carves
an X, a Z. No, who was our other guy? That was the masked. Who was the other guy that carved an X?
Oh, I don't remember.
That was the.
Was that the superhero section?
That was the mysterious masked rider, wasn't it? He carved an X.
Oh! I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm getting my masked heroes. No, of course he carves another Z on Captain Wells' face, and that's very funny.
I honestly thought that at a certain point he was going to just be covered in Z's. He was just so.
I did think it would be good if he just kept going every time, another one. But I think he only ends up with 2.
Yeah, and it was one of those things where I was just like, this movie is going to he's going to carve one on his back, and he's going to carve one. Oh man,
this is very good. But yeah, this is great. I enjoyed this one, and it's so easy to find. Do watch it straight away.
Yeah, it's on. It is on YouTube, folks.
I might even put in the show notes for this episode to recommend that people watch it first, and then come and hear what we think about it. But either way, check it out. It's good fun. I think we could probably, unless there's anything else you want to say before we finish off on that one.
No. I will say
draw it to a close.
We may have already drawn a little bit of attention to this, but the score I think is pretty darn fun as well. So
yes, yeah, it is. It's really good. It's just great production values all around, I would say, on this film. So I mentioned at the beginning that we've had a few messages, so thank you to anyone who wants to get in touch, you can. Easiest way to do it is to either email us at wildwildpodcast@gmail.com or use the link on our link tree in the show notes, which is what Billy D did. And he sent us a message to say, "Hey guys, glad to hear you back at it." I think that was after our long pause between episodes.
Yes.
So he messaged after the Xenobel episode. "Speaking on the films from this season, I'd say Tiger of the Seven Seas sounds best." That's interesting. We're going to talk about that in our next episode. We'll do a roundup in our next episode. So he says, "I watched it on YouTube and it was fun." It is.
It is. It's a good film.
He also says, "Congrats on the new job, Adrian." Thank you. I started yesterday, my new job. I'm not in China yet, but I did start my new job yesterday. "I hope you and Rod figure out a recording schedule as I look forward to your show."
We're going to try our best, yes.
We will, yeah, we'll figure something out. Thank you very much. And then also, we had a couple of other messages. We had a message from a guy who messaged us through Instagram. You can find Wild Wild Podcast on Instagram. So Nicholas got in touch, and he was actually asking me about LSD, Flesh of the Devil.
Oh.
And so because when we covered that film, I somehow managed to cobble together AI generated subtitles, and they weren't great, I seem to remember. But he was asking me if I had a copy of those subtitles, and I appear to have completely lost them. So I had to apologize to Nicholas. But and you'd lost them as well. So
yeah, I mean, I remember having having them someplace, but I think for both of us, in a lot of ways, we're always trying to kind of move forward and
yeah, exactly. We don't look back.
Yes, we do. We're going to spend an entire episode looking back next time.
That's true.
But there is a tendency to kind of save space on hard drives and to kind of move forward. Yeah.
So I do have a copy of it with the English language track, but I lost the subs. But anyway, thank you, Nicholas, for getting in touch. If anyone else wants to get in touch through that, you can, and hopefully your requests will have a better outcome than that one did. Finally, I wanted to mention we had an email from Lee, and it turns out, so I mentioned this a couple of episodes ago about the YouTube channel that somebody had put together with all the films for our podcast, and they're all on this YouTube channel. He's created a playlist for our podcast, so every film we've covered, if it's on YouTube, it's on the playlist. It's a great thing, and I've got a link to it now on Linktree. So it turns out that was Lee, who has been in touch with the podcast before. So thank you, Lee. Last time I wasn't sure who'd done it, but now I do know. So, but anyway, Lee got in touch to say that he's added Zorro in the Court of Spain to the playlist because it's odd and it's also kind of podcast adjacent. And it was made by the same director, I think, who did Zorro and the Three Musketeers. So I think, yeah. So Lee also said, and this concerns you, Rod. He says, "I've also purchased a Wild Wild Podcast t-shirt, and as a sign of gratitude, I demand Dr. Smith calls Rod a bubble-headed booby on the next podcast."
So you know what? When it's required, you should probably do so.
Yeah, if it sells t-shirts, I'll call you anything.
Exactly.
So, Rod, I don't even know what it means. Rod, you are a bubble-headed booby.
I am wounded.
I hope that's not too offensive because I'm not entirely sure what it means. He also said, I think Lee obviously listens to Bloody Pit as well, but because I mentioned this, I think, in the last episode. He says, "P.S. I think more people are calling you Dr. Smith because A, it's funny for some reason, but also to differentiate you from Adrian J. Smith." Which is a good point. There is that other guy, that other Adrian J. Because I'm also Adrian J. Smith. There is an Adrian J. Smith out there who gets all the gigs and has written books about Giallo and all kinds of stuff. But that is true. He's not a doctor and I am. So that's one thing that does set us apart.
I do. There was a point at which that I did fear that there was some bizarre machine somewhere in England that was just turning out Adrian J. Smiths. Well,
in my last job, when I worked at the University of Sussex, there were 3 Dr. Adrian Smith's,
Oh my
because
lord!
I kept getting their emails and stuff, and sometimes post. So yeah, but in my new job at Nottingham Trent University, I appear to be the only one, as far as I know. But there's usually, everywhere I've ever worked, there's been a couple. I mean, we're so common. Anyway, but yeah, so there we go. Thank you, Lee. And like I said, if you want to get in touch with us, particularly now that we've reached the end of the season, it'd be great to hear from you. If you want to tell us what your favourite films have been, if you've been playing along at home, then it would be great to know which films you've enjoyed on this season.
Yes, yes, indeed.
And with that, I think we'll stop. It just remains for me to say thank you for listening. You can, tell your friends, share the episodes online. We're on YouTube. If you like to listen, then you can find us there as well. We do have the merch if you want to find that. The links are in the show notes. And yeah, that's probably all I've got to say. Any final thoughts from you, Rod?
No, we live in interesting times.
That is true.
Any time that I can sit down and realize that I have a stack of Lamberto Bava films on Blu-ray that you're just crying out for me to watch them, we live in interesting times.
That's true, and there's always new stuff. That box set, The Vinegar Syndrome, just announced yesterday.
Bloodstained Italy?
Yeah, which is not quite Forgotten Giallo, but they're kind of Giallo adjacent. And there's 3 films on there. One of them I'd heard of, 2 I'm not so sure. But yeah, just another set of previously obscure movies getting a nice restored release.
I can't wait to see them. Yeah.
The only thing that's missing from that set is a commentary by us. That would have been good.
Oh, that would have made it perfect. Maybe.
Yeah,
it's true.
Anyway, but yes, we do live in good times. It's important to remember that when you watch the news and see how bad things are,
and see
else.
how things are spiraling out of control in certain areas, namely North America. Yes.
Yeah, but we will never run out of films to watch, so that's good.
This is true.
Okay, right. We will be back soon with a short episode where we just talk through this season and the highs and the lows and everything in between. So do come back for that in a week or so. Thanks everybody for listening. Bye for now.
Bye-bye, everyone.